I don't know what is money. Hi guys, my name is Zainab Agwaje. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name is Zainab. I am a second year med student and a fitness enthusiast. So if you're into videos like that, please consider subscribing. It helps out my channel a lot. In today's video, so I got a request mentioning I should like talk a bit in depth about how to apply for a student loan as an international student for med school and stuff like that. This was a comment in my video about like how to pay for medical school as an international student. I'm gonna leave a video here somewhere. So I got a comment and I thought about like, you know, why not do the video. And I would also like to officially apologize. I really responded to the comment saying that I was going to post the video on Wednesday. This video is not going to go up until Sunday, unfortunately. Life happened, so here we are. I'm very, very sorry for how late it's been. So based on the request, I decided to like do a bit more research about, you know, how to apply for the loans and everything that you might need when it comes to those loans. The thing is though, with every student loan application and stuff like that, the requirements are a bit different and a bit more specific depending on what financial institute you are working with. But I'm going to just give the general idea. We're going to talk about like just the general requirements for like student loan application and stuff like that. So that is what this video is about. I also want to put a huge disclaimer out there. I am not a financial assistant. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know anything finance related. I don't know what is money. I don't want people to see this as like the only truth out there. This is just me sharing my own experience and also like sharing what I have found online with you guys. So yeah, not a financial advice. Like I said in my video on how to pay for medical school as an international student, I mentioned that there are several ways to pay for medical school. There are several like avenues. It's like paying out of your pockets. There's the military routes, there's the student loan routes, there's the just like different things that I mentioned in that video. There's scholarships and stuff like that. Today we'll be focusing specifically on like the student loan route, and the reason why this is quite different from like a traditional student in the country, especially in America. Obviously all of this is in the context of America. I'm an international student in America, so all of this is in that context, well, and also in my own experience. This might not be this is my truth. But anyways, the reason why this video exists essentially, or why I want to create this video, or why people have a lot of questions about this, is basically because international students don't have access to like what is called FAFSA, which is like a federal student loan application situation for traditional students or like citizens of the country of America. International students don't necessarily have access to that, at least as of right now. And you know, being an international student in America means you hold a F1 visa or you have your I-20 and stuff like that. So all of those things don't necessarily qualify you for like federal loan. You have to get private loans from like private financial institutes and stuff like that. I started my medical school journey and I started with like my loan application situation in 2021. And at that time, before researching online, I was trying to get like, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get FAFSA loans and stuff like that, but I wanted to get like loans from like banks like Chase Bank or like Bank of America, or just general banks in general that are like obviously well established in America, and they're big enough to be able to afford that type of loan. So I visited several banks. I also visited Wells Fargo, and they all basically say the same thing. They don't offer student loans or private loans that much, because obviously med school is like 5 figures every year, and also it ends up adding up to 6 figures. So as of 2021, and honestly as of right now that I'm doing my research in 2023, I don't know of any like mainstream bank that offers student loans to international students in America. So a lot of times international students will have to resort to getting loans from like online financial institutes. So So things like Discover Bank. Discover is like an online bank. They don't have like a physical location. Like Sallie Mae, Empower, things like that. We're going to get into all of those things, but basically that's the reason why international students would have to resort to like resources like that, essentially, because you don't necessarily have access to those things. So now that all of that has been cleared, we're going to get into like just the specific things that you need when it comes to like applying for a student loan in America. Well, I need to stop saying what you need, because like I'm scared. Okay guys, I'm talking based on my experience and my research. Okay, I don't know, there might be something else out there, but based on my own experience and research that I've done out there, there are two routes that you can take when it comes to applying for student loan in America as an international student. So you can either apply with a cosigner or without a cosigner. Applying with a cosigner allows you access to more options when it comes to like all of these financial institutes. Applying without a cosigner just means that you have less options and potentially less funds available when it comes to those things, because a lot of these financial institutes would have like caps on how much they can like send to you at a time, and also like just send to you in general throughout your 4 years in med school. So a lot of these financial institutes like would have like that cap. So having a cosigner just basically opens up the opportunity for you to get better interest rates, more money potentially, just like with the financial institute that you go with, and also like just more access. You have more options, and without a cosigner kind of restricts your option, because not a lot of like financial institutes offer like, you know, loans without a cosigner. So that being said, I did a bit of like googling around. That's what I did as well when I started my med school journey in 2021, and I found this website called like the internationalstudentloan.com. I have no affiliation to them, obviously. I don't know, but I'm going to leave their stuff down in the description box. I'm looking this way because my notes are here, but I'm going to leave the link to the website in the description box. Okay, I hope it's recording. So anyway, so we're just going to type in international student loan, I guess, with a cosigner, and this is the website. I'm just going to leave the website right here. And okay, so this is what basically the website page. It's going to ask you if you're a US citizen, yes or no. Let's click no, obviously, because we're not. And then it's going to ask you for your country of citizenship, and I'm going to just choose Nigeria. It's going to ask you if you have a cosigner, so we're going to say no. Let's start with that. Let's start with the no option. So now it's going to ask you which degree you will be pursuing. Medicine is a graduate degree. I can't speak today. It's going to ask you what country you're in. Let's choose the United States, and then it's going to ask you your state you're in. I'm in Michigan right now, and then it's going to ask you what school. So we're going to choose my school, and then find loans. So based on all of the things we've input right now, Empower is the only student loan or financing situation that can provide for me with loans for my program and also for my school specifically. That's basically the option right now, and here it gives you kind of like a synapse of like what you can expect with the loans and stuff. You see how the interest rate is like 13% to 14%. It's a lot. It's almost like, it's a lot. Anyways, and I also found this website. I'm also going to leave it down below. That's the Nerd Wallet's website essentially, and it gives you like all of the it gives you a list of like 9 international student loans companies that are available in 2023. One thing that I found here is that there are also other options. There's another option for like student loan application or financing, student loan financing without the need of a cosigner. The website name is like Prodigy Private Student Loans. Again, this has to work with your school. Their interest rate is a bit better than Empower, but it has to work with your school. Like your school needs to be able to accept loans from them, if that makes sense. So now we're going to work on applying for a student loan with a cosigner, and the cosigner by definition, I feel like in general it's just somebody that is a citizen of America, or they have their permanent residency, like their permanent residency card in America. They have to be 18 years or older, and they just have to have a good credit score type of situation. That's like the general idea of a co-signer. So back to this website. Okay, yeah, we're gonna say we're not a US citizen. No. Then we're going to choose our country of citizenship, which is Nigeria for me. And then co-signer, yes, we have a co-signer. Then we're going to choose the country we're in. Just basically do the same thing. And then what school? So now, because we have a co-signer, we have a lot more options. Power is still one of the options. Sallie Mae, there's a SoFi, which I haven't really heard much of. There's U Funding, which only pays $20,000 per academic year. Sallie Mae has a lot of options as well. There's Ascent, which has a lot of like good ratings on like a lot of the websites. There's Earnest, and also if you check on this website, the Nerd Wallet website, there's actually a lot more options as well. There's Discover, there's LendKey, there's a lot more options, and they give you like rates and stuff like that. The good thing about this website is it also tells you like the minimum credit score that you will need to get like student loans from these places. We're gonna go with Discover and see start like an application with them, and we'll see how that goes. So we're going to select like obviously like students. Am I a returning loan customer? No. Discuss student loans. Yeah, get started. So then we have all of these questions. So now on the next page, it actually gives you estimated cost of loans and stuff like that. Well, cost of attendance as your tuition, and also like cost of living as well. Academic period is going to be that. So that's the thing about this student loans. You can't get for like summer, spring. You can't get for summer, fall, and spring at the same time. It's always like you always get just for summer, like loans for summer semester if your school does summer semester, my school does, and then you can get for like spring and fall at the same time. So every year, based on my own experience, every year you have to get your credit score checked twice every year. But let's say summer, and then you just continue to fill out the applications, and you tell them the loan amounts that you want. So once you're done with this part of the application, like you continue to progress in the application, it would ask for like a valid passport, Nigerian passport. So I remember when I started my own application, I had to go get my passport renewed, because it was kind of like it was almost expiring. So I had to go get my passport renewed, which was like a different story on its own. So you need like a valid Nigerian passport. It would ask for that, and it would also ask for like an I-20. Obviously if you've gotten admission from your school will be able to provide you with your I-20. So you would need 2 documents to just prove like you are going to school and you are like a valid immigrant in the country essentially. And then those are the documents you would need to provide for them. They might ask for a bunch of other things depending on what you have and what you are willing to provide, but the application doesn't necessarily always progress until you've provided them with some form of like immigration documents, and it's typically like your passport and your I-20. Like once you have those 2 things, you are typically good. And maybe your visa, even if it's expired, you can always put in your visa. I believe there's a spot for visa as well. Once you're done with your part of the application, you would then be asked to send a co-signer their application. So a co-signer will do their own application as well. They go through the whole process, and they'll say that they're co-signing for you. They will have some documents that they would also need to provide. They will also have some like stuff that they will need to type in and stuff like that. Their own application is different and separate from yours. You can obviously help them with their own application, but it has to be done by them. Once you are done with your application, once your co-signer is done with your application, then the application, once it's approved, you know, your co-signer passed the credit score check, you pass your own credit score check. Then your loan is approved. You selected your preferred amount and your preferred interest rate, because it would ask you if you want a fixed interest rate or a variable interest rate. Based on my very limited knowledge, a variable interest rate would change over the years if your credit score changes, or if your co-signer something like basically if your credit score changes. And a fixed interest rate is always slightly higher than a variable interest rate, because that doesn't change no matter how they change in your credit score. So I would advise to go for a fixed interest rate, even if like it's slightly higher, because like throughout medical school you will use your credit card, you will use certain things. If you're not working, it's like your credit score will eventually change throughout med school. It might not be a significant change, but it will eventually change, and those changes might affect your interest rates if you are not too careful. So I would always advise to go with like a fixed interest rate. But then again, I'm not a financial advisor, I don't know. But once you're done with all of those things, your loan would then be sent to school. Like the application will be sent to school. School needs to verify the loan and certify the loan. If verifying and certifying, I literally don't know what that means, but basically I guess just making sure that you are a student, you are going to be going to school, and the amount you're asking for is reasonable for, like, you know, your studying and things like that. So what I know based on my own experience at my school is that once you've sent in your loans to be certified by your school, they have the power to like change the loan amount. So basically, let's say for example, based on our calculation with Discover, they are estimating your cost of attendance to be $54,536. Let's say you want to ask for like $1,000 more. Maybe you want to buy certain things and you want to ask for $1,000 more, or maybe like your rent is higher than what your school has estimated. So let's say you just need $1,000 more. It's up to your school to either say, yeah, they shouldn't get $1,000 more, or like, okay, fine, we can give them $1,000 more, if that makes sense. So your school can change. Let's say you ask for 50, like this one is saying you need 54,000. Let's say you ask for 55,000. They will send in that you're asking for 55,000, and your school can be like, well, no, it's only $54,000 that she needs, so cancel that $1,000. Or your school can be like, well, you sure, give it to her, it's her money or whatever. So your school can, like, during the process of getting the loan certified, they can change the loan amount as well. And my school does that a lot. That's why I know a lot about this. This is like a back end thing. I don't know the process, but once it's certified, Discover knows that it's certified. So like then they give you like send like an email that your loan is officially complete and stuff like that, and they give you like an estimated date when they can send the loan to your school. So that's another thing. The loan doesn't get sent directly to you, it gets sent to your school. Your school will take out their tuition and fees and everything, and they will send you the rest, which is like going to be your cost of living. So that typically would take like 2 weeks or even more, because Discover will want to give you time to either cancel the loan, I don't want this loan anymore, or whatever, just make changes that is possible basically. Once that like grace period is done, then they send the loan to school. The school sends you the rest, like, which is your cost of living. And for a lot of school, like, the cost of living is estimated by each like school, and they will tell you how much like your cost of living should be. And I'm going to show you what my school estimates for like our cost of living, if I can find it. So there's like a chart, this chart is basically kind of like what my school estimates. For cost of living, this is what a lot of students go by when they want to apply for like their loans and stuff like that. It gives you like the tuition and fee for obviously in-state and non-in-state. As an international student, it's always going to be like the non-resident route. And then it gives you like a breakdown of each basically like your cost of living essentially. So it gives you how much you should be paying for rent monthly. If we're going to zoom in, let me just try to zoom in for you guys. So rent per month should be like, they're estimating $936, food $361, personal $357, transportation $556, and then your monthly should be $2,210. Obviously it's going to vary for a lot of people. Like if you have a roommate, you might not be spending up to $900 a month. If you live alone, you might be spending more than that on rent. So basically these estimates kind of give you like what you should be expecting to spend every kind of like month to month basis. Obviously it doesn't put into account other things like, you know, just random other things, but it kind of gives you like an estimation. It also estimates, as an international student, you need to be paying for like health insurance through school, so it kind of gives you, my school does that, well, I don't know, it's specifically for my school, but it gives you an estimate of that, and then it kind of adds it all up and tells you how much you should be expecting to collect extra for like cost of living, and that's what gets sent to you. So that's how you can basically get like your cost of living estimated. You can always ask your school for like an estimate, especially if you have not lived in that area before. You don't know what rent is like, you don't know what food is like, you don't know anything. You can always ask your school for like an estimation of cost of living, so that they can basically guide you on what you should, how much you should collect and stuff like that. Because obviously you want to get enough money to be comfortable and be able to not worry about money and stuff like that, but you also don't want to collect too much money, girl. You gotta pay this money back. Okay, so that's basically how it's done. Let me see if I'm thinking if there's anything else that I could think of that I feel like might be beneficial. Honestly, I think those are the things. I'm going to leave the websites, the links to those websites in the description box, the Nerd Wallet website and the International Student Loans website. Obviously there are other loans outside of these like things. You can just obviously just search international student loan without a cosigner, international student loan with a cosigner. Again, factors, there are several factors that come into play when it comes to these things, like, you know, if your school is going to accept loans from them, if they work well with your school, type of thing. That's a factor that just comes in play essentially. But yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. And yeah, a lot of these loans, they don't expect you to pay back until you're graduated, when you have a job. So they don't expect you to pay back. That's why they always ask for like an estimated graduation date essentially. So they don't expect you to pay back until then. And I know, for example, with Discover, you can like defer payments. Obviously I'm pretty sure with a lot of banks, so you probably can defer payments. I probably don't do that, so you can just get out of debt quickly. But again, not a financial advisor, so I don't know nothing. But yeah, that's another thing you don't have to pay about. You obviously don't have to worry about the loan once you start working and stuff like that. Yeah, that's everything I can think of. I can't think of anything else right now. Yeah. I want to again officially apologize for this video coming. It's not going to be out on Wednesday. I just know it. Life is currently happening right now, so it's not going to be out on Wednesday, but I hope it's still very helpful, and I hope it's informative. Again, if you have any video requests that I could do with regards to being an international student in America, or like a fitness related content, let me know. I'm more than happy to do them. And yeah, I'm done. I'm done talking. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'm wishing you, everyone that is starting medical school this fall or this summer, I'm wishing you guys all the best. And you've got this. Well, you've got this. I'm rooting for you. Okay, so I'm wishing everybody the best, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.